Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Research, and I'm here at the Worldwide Technology stand at the Fortinet Championship. Actually, the Fortinet Security Summit that precedes the Fortinet Championship. And I'm joined by three folks from WWT. Why don't you just do a quick intro on yourself? Eric, why don't you start?
Yep, so Eric Heet, been at Worldwide about 8 years. I kind of manage our PGA Tour relationship and all of our golf sponsorships.
Yeah, and what do you find exciting about it? Like, why do you feel it's important to be part of an event like this? What does it bring you?
Yeah, well, I think Fortinet does a great job of kind of infusing really the thought leadership component to technology, security specifically, and then golf as well, which we've seen kind of great, I'll say, return on investment from a sales side. So kind of combining those into something like a security summit and I'll say a PGA golf tournament or an entertainment focus really is fantastic.
And you've got your own event coming up soon, right? Down in Mexico.
We do, yeah. So similar to Fortinet, we are a title sponsor on the PGA Tour. The WWT Championship coming first week in November down in Cabo, Mexico. So super excited about that. A lot of similar framework that we have in our tournament compared to here. Thought leadership tracks, customer engagement, and we just have a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
So that's really what it's
So we'll look forward to that. And so Tom, quick intro in yourself. I understand your expertise is networking.
I'm Tom Whaley. I'm a Chief Technology Advisor at Worldwide. I'm part of our global accounts team. My background's in network architecture.
Okay, and
Warren Jackson. I am a partner solutions architect and the lead of our Fortinet practice within our global solutions and architecture group here at WWT.
Okay, so let's talk themes of the event here. So we're at your security summit. Obviously, Fortinet's in fact, they're one of the few vendors that you could argue has strength both in networking and security, and that's important today because I think those two worlds, after as an analyst, I think I've been writing about that for 20 years, and so it's finally starting to happen. Tom, I'll start with you. When you talk to customers about network challenges and some of the things they're struggling with, well, what do they tell you now? What are they talking about?
Yeah, it's been 30 years as a network architect in that business, and in the last few years have been some of my most interesting because of these challenges, right? There's a fundamental architecture shift now in how we connect users to the applications and data they're going to use. That shift to cloud, from an endpoint perspective, is impacting network in terms of getting more performant in cloud connectivity, more performant in the user experience, still needing to secure that environment, but doing it in a very seamless way. So I think, agreeing with you, now more than ever, that blend of network and security, they cannot be approached separately anymore. They are entwined. It is one solution. And we're seeing that drive these fabric-based solutions where, Fortinet really one of the leaders in that market, being able to blend that product set across both network and secure.
One of the interesting shifts that I've seen in networking, I just ran a survey and asked business leaders about their opinion of the network, and almost 70% agreed that the network is now a strategic to the business, where if you think back like a decade or so ago, most business leaders didn't know anything about the network, right? They just thought it was the pipes of the company. And so I think because we live in a world where everything's connected, the network's much more important.
Yeah, definitely. And we're seeing that as customers start connecting their sites, their campuses, their end users direct to cloud, right? Where the applications are moving. That customer experience, the user experience is very key in being able to provide that solution. The new solutions in network to be able to provide really the visibility and analytics behind how your users and data and applications are performing is now part and parcel to those solutions.
Yes. Warren, same question to you on security. Like, what are some customers telling you where they're struggling, what are they doing?
I think the biggest thing that you see teams are struggling with right now is being able to maintain the network that they have and to eliminate those blind spots in the network.
And there's a lot of blind spots.
Right, and the lack of visibility to me is the biggest enemy to security within the network. So when you see this desire to move to a platform, the biggest reason is I've got limited staff, and that staff needs to be able to see everything on the network, right? And when we've got users moving in and out of a location, going and working from their home, working in a coffee shop or wherever they're at, we want them to have the same security profile that they have when they're sitting in the office. Right? So that's what where the desire really is, right? And they don't want to see their name on the news more than anything else, right? Like they don't want to see a cybersecurity event. We're hearing about ransomware more and more every day, and it's not because somebody's breaking down the front door. It's because they're finding ways in that are a little more subtle than that, right?
Yeah.
So those are the real concerns we're seeing.
Well, that's been a big change, right? Is I think in fact one of the speakers said this morning that the bad guys really aren't just interested in the places where companies invest a lot of money in security. They're more interested in those places that don't, and a lot of that is user level security and things like that. And it seems more and more attacks are coming through that user channel where you don't have the big iron and things like that, right?
Well, and you hear about the Internet of Things. People talk about that.
Well, in fact, there was a big OT track here.
There's a big OT track, right? You got lots of devices out there that are what they call headless devices, right? They don't necessarily have a human being sitting behind the keyboard or sitting, on the device, right? So how do we protect the network from those devices that can easily be hijacked and turned against us, right?
So one of the themes here at the event is the concept of the security platform, and in fact, I don't think anybody would disagree with the end state of where I need to get. But every customer is in a unique position. Some have deployed ZTNA, some haven't. Some have moved clouds, moved a lot of their apps to the cloud. Some haven't. And so, if the platform's the end game, how do customers get from where they are today to where they need to go, or to get to that platform in a way that's, I guess manageable, where they're not ripping out everything and putting all new stuff in, right?
Well, the answer is baby steps, right?
Or chip shots.
As Tom can tell you, we don't have many greenfield customers, right? Our customers have
there's
what
no
they have.
greenfields,
right?
Yeah.
Right. They can't go cancel all of the licensing that they have today. A lot of them are looking 2 to 3 years down the road, and saying these products right here, I have to stick with them, right? So they can't just, Fortinet has the security fabric, but one of the good things is they have an ecosystem, right? And there are several vendors. Most of the big names that out there, they're working with them either through their API or direct connections into the security fabric itself, right? So you can get that visibility, sharing of telemetry, sharing of that metadata, understanding, what users are doing, and being able to get that visibility across multiple products, right? Like that's so where you start at is you figure out where their biggest needs are today and work on that, and then continue to work, with the other pieces of it as that comes along.
And Tom, Tom, how important is network data as part of that platform too? Because I think when people think of the security platform, they think of firewalls and endpoint and stuff like that. But you mentioned visibility. What role does network play in that?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a shift there. If you think about, over the last 20 years of network architecture and design, networks are all about private circuits, and MPLS came out.
Yes.
Right, and we're seeing a shift now towards
it was inherently secure, right?
It was inherently secure, but it inherently came with a little bit more visibility with some of those solutions, right? But the problem is now that the data moved, right? It's out in cloud, right? Internet as a transport to get there is now key to these architectures to get more performant, better user experience. But being able to provide that visibility and analytics on things like direct internet access paths into cloud, handoffs to your cloud providers or SASE and SSE solutions, right? That's really key to be able to be successful with this, and it has to be integrated into that platform.
So no matter who the vendor is, whether it's Fortinet or one of their competitors, I do think the shift to platform, there's a level of complexity to it, right? And so I know one of the things that Worldwide Technology has is their Advanced Technology Center that can help customers with that. So can you talk a little bit about what the ATC is, and then how customers can use it to help them get to that end state without having to commit a bunch of dollars up front or go through a lot of pain and tweaking and tuning things?
Yeah, Advanced Technology Center is near, adjacent to our headquarters in St. Louis. We have data center investment there with millions of dollars of infrastructure that
including Fortinet equipment,
Fortinet, multifaceted. So being partners in the largest partner with, say, a Fortinet, we're able to actually be part of their product development cycles. We are an EFT customer to them to give them input into the feature, functionality, scale of products before they go to market. We also then do a lot of customer-focused testing. So on the customer journey, there's a bit of an OEM shift into that platform space where it might be learning capabilities for a client, where we have labs on our WWT.com platform that are on demand, free to our customers, that get them hands-on access to some of these solutions to be able to start feeling how this platform capability can evolve. We also do customer focus testing. So you kind of mentioned, how do you get from where we are today to this end vision, right? And being able to incrementally introduce new features to get to that end state architecture, right? Really being able to stage a transformation effort of how you are going to migrate and transform your environment. Being able to do that in an environment where you can model those environments and those changes to make sure while you're on this journey of transformation, you can be successful without disruption.
Yeah, and so while the ATC is actually in St. Louis, customers, you mentioned the lab, but customers don't actually have to be physically there to use it, correct?
Yeah, you're correct, right? It's all front-ended through our wwt.com platform, so virtual access into these lab environments. And then the research we do with the OEMs and that partnership, you can see is WWT research papers. So really any solution, any OEM, very easy search capability to find that on our platform. And we publish it free to charge for customers to leverage.
Yeah, and I know one of the services that's part of the lab as a service of the ATC is your simulation environment, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
The cyber range?
Yeah.
Well, the cyber range gives you the opportunity to come in and bring your team in and hone your skills around, a red team, those type of blue team type.
Red team, blue team, yeah.
Scenarios, right? And I actually got to participate in one of those. They allowed the entire cybersecurity practice to do it.
Is that fun?
And, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and it really does simulate a real world environment, right? And you're using the actual tools that your enemies would be using, right? So it gives you an opportunity to see how the other side does what they do, right? And with that knowledge and the intelligence that they get out of that testing, that's something that can also translate over to when we're testing within the ATC as well, right? Yeah. So it's a two-pronged thing. We're getting the experience there, but we're also able to get the intelligence of how those products can be used against us. Right?
All right.
So,
well, great. Thanks for the discussion, Eric, Tom, Warren. It was great to hear your thoughts on the industry, but then also learn more about your ATC and also the cyber range. So, if you're watching this, obviously, I think platform is the way forward in security, but don't, take advantage of resources like the ATC and the cyber range to be able to help you migrate there in a way that's risk-free. So, on behalf of Eric, Tom, Warren, I'm ZS Caraval from ZK Research saying thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on another ZKast.